People who own homes in Fairfax County are concerned with the value of their property and with the real estate assessments the county performs each year. But how are those assessments determined? Why does the county reassess properties annually? And what's your role as a property owner in the assessment process? For most of us, this is the first direct contact we have with the annual real estate assessment process, when the value of our property changes and we receive a formal reassessment notice. This notice of assessment change shows the assessment that was in effect for last year and the assessment that will be in effect this year. But why does the county assess property? In fact, Fairfax County, like virtually every other county in the United States, uses real estate assessments as its base for calculating real estate taxes. The money from those taxes generates over 60% of the county's annual budget. Money for the county's police and fire departments. Money for schools, parks, and other public services. A tax based on property value is one way to ensure that people who own property in the county pay their fair share. Janet Goldsmith of the Department of Tax Administration explains.
In Fairfax County, we reassess property every year. We determine fair market value by looking at sales of similar properties in the same area or neighborhood. We're looking at the sale price to determine if it is a bona fide arm's length transaction. We're looking at a willing buyer, a willing seller. We're also making sure we understand the condition of the property and what features are involved in that property. We also lag the real estate market. For example, the 2009 assessments will be based on 2008 sales.
Every year, the Department of Tax Administration sends out a notice of assessment change. That can involve hundreds of thousands of properties a year. But remember, these assessments are not taxes. They are only part of the equation used to calculate your real estate taxes. The actual tax you pay depends on the tax rate, and that rate is set each year by the Fairfax County Board of Supervisors. For example, here is the tax rate for last year, expressed as a dollar figure per $100 of assessed value. Here's what that means to you. Let's say your house was assessed at $400,000. First, you divide your home's assessment by 100 because the rate is set per $100 of value, and you get $4,000. Then multiply by the tax rate to determine your tax bill. Your actual tax bill would change in subsequent years if either the tax rate or your assessment changed. Just how are real estate assessments determined? How does the county decide the fair market value of your property? Determining the fair market value of the properties often requires that appraisers in the Department of Tax Administration make field visits to neighborhoods throughout the county. It's impossible for appraisers to inspect all properties in the county every year. Therefore, it's in the best interest of the homeowner to share any changes that occurred during the year to ensure that properties are assessed at fair market value. The Department of Tax Administration's goal is to review data within each neighborhood every 6 years, using a combination of field visits and aerial and oblique photography. DTA relies heavily on computers to help organize and store data that will help the appraisers do their job.
For example, this property in the Virginia Hills neighborhood has been combined into an assessment neighborhood where all properties are similar, and we would expect that sales would represent the vast majority of properties in the neighborhood. The appraiser who is assigned to work this neighborhood gathers all sales in the neighborhood and verifies that they truly represent market value. To do so, they would contact the buyer, the seller, the real estate agent, perform a field inspection, or we have in-house tools such as photographs from the last physical inspection, the deeds from the courthouse, the realtor's multiple listing, or aerial photographs available to assist in this task.
DTA appraisers use the market and cost approaches to determine the fair market value of your home. For most residential properties, The value is best determined from comparable sales data, known as the market approach to value. The market comparison approach may also be used with the cost approach, which looks at the depreciated replacement cost for the building plus the land value. In developing this approach, however, the total assessment is always compared to the total sales prices for recent market value sales of improved residential property in the neighborhood. The cost approach is then adjusted if needed to best reflect the total property sales prices.
Infill development is frequently found during sale verifications. Infill development is when a builder takes an existing vacant lot in an older neighborhood and adds a much larger home with more features. We find that homeowners are very concerned that their assessments will be unduly influenced by the sale of this much larger home. In fact, we employ an apples-to-apples comparison. The older homes, the sales of those properties are used to set the assessments on those older homes. The new home is only compared to newer homes.
Like other county appraisers, Guy Yates bases much of his work on information that's already been gathered and entered into the county's records. Appraisers use several sources to make sure property records are current and accurate.
We verify every resale of the property to make certain that the physical characteristics match current conditions. We also follow up on all building permits to make certain that any remodeling or addition work is captured on the record.
Any homeowner can check a property listing at the Department of Tax Administration. Property owners can even download tax forms and access records by logging on to the department's website at home or by visiting a local library. Once you've located your property on the website, you can access sales information on homes in your neighborhood used to determine your assessment. In cases where sales data in your neighborhood is insufficient, then sales of similar homes in other neighborhoods may also be used. Appraisers have a complex job, but they are trained well for it. Appraisers hired by the county have at least a college degree or the educational equivalency and field appraisal experience. In addition, there are professional organizations like the International Association of Assessing Officers, the IAAO, which certify members based on their skills and knowledge. A number of staff appraisers in the Department of Tax Administration have advanced certificates. Along with certifying professionals, organizations like the IAAO give appraisers a chance to attend ongoing continuing education classes where they can update their knowledge of the marketplace, keep up with the latest appraisal techniques, and advance their professional skills. All of this training and professionalism helps the county. The widely used statistical measures to check on the quality of the assessment, assessment to sales ratio, coefficient of dispersion, and price-related differential all show that Fairfax County does an excellent job, better in fact than most other jurisdictions in the country. You may feel that your assessment is higher than the actual market value of your property, or you may think your assessment isn't equitable in comparison to similar properties in your neighborhood. If you have questions, contact the Department of Tax Administration by phone. They'll be happy to discuss your assessment.
Homeowners can log on to the internet and find on our DTA homepage the detailed characteristics about their house and the sales used to determine their assessment. Our website shows all the sales that occurred in the county over the past year. They can also call our central information office and be connected to an appraiser who can discuss more fully with them their assessment.
If you're not satisfied with the results of your appeal with the Department of Tax Administration, you have the right to file a formal appeal with the county's Board of Equalization of Real Estate Assessments. But that appeal has to be filed on or before June 1st. You'll be given an opportunity to make a short presentation before the board, which is an independent body of citizens appointed by the Board of Supervisors. The Department of Tax Administration will also present its case. After hearing both sides, the Board of Equalization will make a final binding decision on the appealed assessment. Further appeal is available by filing with Fairfax County Circuit Court. For qualifying senior citizens, 65 or older, the county offers tax relief based on gross income and total assets. Relief is also available to people with disabilities who meet certain requirements. Call 703-222-8234, TTY 703-222-7594 for information on current eligibility. Applications for tax relief must be renewed each year. Renewals are filed with the county between January 1st and April 1st of each year. First-time applications can be filed anytime during the year, but it's best to file as early as possible to allow time for processing. Keep in mind that assessing real estate in Fairfax County is not something that happens just once a year. It's an ongoing process. By law, all property must be assessed as of January 1st of the tax year. Notices of reassessment showing you any changes up or down in your property's assessed value are mailed out in February. If you have any questions, be sure to call the Department of Tax Administration right away. In June, the first of 2 real estate bills is sent out. The first payment, half of your total bill, is due by July 28th. Most homeowners don't have to do anything because they've already paid the money as part of their monthly mortgage payment. In most cases, your bank or mortgage company automatically receives your tax bill and pays it for you, directly to the county. In November, the bill for the second half of the real estate tax arrives. Payment for this bill is due on December 5th. In January of the next year, the process starts all over again. Similar homes with similar assessments. Assessments that reflect fair market value. No more, no less. That's what the Fairfax County Real Estate Assessment process is designed to produce. The process depends on accurate property records, on professional appraisers, on citizen participation. All of these are important factors in an assessment equation, which allows the government of Fairfax County to spread the real estate tax burden fairly and equitably among all the property owners in the county. For more information on the appraisal process, contact the Department of Tax Administration at 703-222-8234, TTY 703-222-7594, or the Department of Tax Administration website at www.fairfaxcounty.gov/DTA. For further information on the Board of Equalization, call 703-324-4891, TTY 703-222-7594, or visit www.fairfaxcounty.gov/BOE.